Welcome back to S.WigginsTV. I'm your host, Worldwide Wiggins. I'm back with another list for y'all, man. You know I stay showing love to the smaller hoods, man. And today we gonna be covering the hoods with the smallest territory. You know, the smallest turfs in LA. Now, before we start, you know I got to let you know this is no disrespect. You know, we just covering the turf. As a matter of fact, the hoods I'm finna name are like some of the most vicious. So this is actually a tribute, a compliment, okay? So make sure we get that clear, you know what I'm saying? And another thing, man, you know, I ain't trying to put it in an order. And, you know, of course, there's some other hoods out there that's also small, but it's just a little something I threw together. Make sure you stay tuned. I'm going to be back on track, dropping some classics. Stay with me, all right? We going to start it off. Let's go. The 6 Hood Compton Crips. I'm pretty sure a lot of us who pay attention to street TV, we all seen a specific Compton Crip interview on there. It was about a hood called the 6 Hood Compton Crips, and how they only stretch from like one block from Wilmington to Willowbrook, only on 126th Street. But if I'm not mistaken, because I've been in that area a lot, in that above mentioned area, you know, like on 126 or whatever street that was, it's a few cul-de-sacs. So technically, it is a few more streets on that block, but you know, that's no disrespect to them. You know, I'm just trying to recall in my memory. So, you know, all due respect, bro. But the 6 hoods have a very close-knit relationship with each other, and they seem like a family-orientated gang and don't really affiliate with too many outside sets. Even though in the interview, they did mention that they was cool with neighborhood Compton Crips and maybe possibly Mona Park. But shouts out. All right, next, you got the Anzac Grape Compton Crips. Just like they name say, this hood is pretty much only 2 streets. You know, North Anzac Street, North Grape Street, cross 131st. You know, a little bit after Nord, up until Stockwell. In other parts of Compton, those 2 streets are considered East Side. If I had to put this in order, I would probably give them second place, pretty much. Next, you got the Raymond Street Hustler Compton Crips. The Raymond Street Hustler Compton Crips are often overlooked, but S. Wiggins, you know, I'm always here to expand, you know, and look out for the underdog. A lot of people consider them to be a part of the Nutty Block territory. They pretty much their own hood, and they stretch a couple streets. They stretch from Alondra all the way down to Claude or, well, Raymond Street, and from Aprilla to Central, you know. But like I say, these hoods are dangerous, even though they small, so proceed with caution. All right, then you got the Cedar Block Power Rules. Once again, like I said before, the Cedar Block Power Rules, you know, they still around. They are not extinct, and they hold down a few cul-de-sacs, especially one, you know, I ain't gonna give it up, but they pretty much stretch from Wilmington to Pastor Creek and from Rosecrans to Brazil. This hood is known for developing rap superstar The Game, and the mastermind in the streets is older brother, Big Face Honey. Next, you got the 11-6 Avalon / 11-6 Kitchen. You know, I'm happy I got a chance to speak on this area and put it on the list because there's been a lot of back and forth talks about whether this hood is Avalon or Kitchen. But hey, I'm not sure, you know. I'ma just say both. And to my knowledge, you know, they cool anyway. But this area only stretches just a few blocks from Imperial to the freeway, which is not that many streets, but you know, I wouldn't say not even more than 5, but for sure. Next, you got the Backstreet Watts Crips. Backstreet Watts is another silent but deadly hood that I really meant to put on my other list, and I think a lot of people really sleep on them like a mug. These dudes is super sick with it. And speaking of which, shouts out to the hubby sick with it, my love. Backstreets may not have that many streets, but they is very dangerous, man. In my opinion, top 5 with Watts. Now, it was rumored that they broke off from Front Street years ago, and that caused a war. And now that I think about it, I probably should include them on my next episode of Friendships and Fallouts. What y'all think? Let me know. All right, next, you got the Nas 7 Gangsta Crips. Nas 7 Gangsters is another one of them hoods that I've been dying to interview somebody because we don't hear about him often, you know? You know what I'm saying? It would be cool. I think it would be a dope interview. But from what I've been hearing, you know, what we've been hearing, I guess, you know, it's safe to say that they mainly hold down 1 or 2 streets from Colden to 97 and from Broadway to Main. Anybody from this hood, you know, or any other hood on this list, feel free to call me, man. My number is on my page. Next, you got the 9-7 Young N-word Crips. You know, another hood that I put on one of my forgotten hoods lists that a lot of people don't really know about. And if my memory serves me correctly, they was once a bunch of young guys in a PTSD type clique that evolved into Crips later. For all my new Wigsters out there that just joined the S.Wiggins gang, a PTSD clique is like a crew that started off as a P, a party crew, T, a tagger crew, S, a scene crew like a preppy boys type dressers, or a D, a dance crew, PTSD. But they go from roughly around Colden to 97th Street and from San Pedro to Main Street. All right, next, you got the notorious Bebop Watts. Bebop Watts, between them and the Swans, they definitely got to be the top reputable bloods on the east side. Besides their ruthless reputation and how they managed to survive wars with hoods who are just as vicious as them, I gotta give it to them, you know. They turf ain't even that big, and they still hose it down. That's what I'm saying. Y'all gotta check my list out and put the pride to the side, man. Come on, bro. They stretch from somewhere on 93rd Street, and it's not even that big of an area. They surrounded by East Coast, 97 East Coast, and 89 East Coast, and other hoods like, yeah, for sure, man. Give them they flowers. Next, you got the Rollin' 40 Bloodstone Paru. Once again, I'm no philosopher when it comes to the low bottoms, and I'm definitely subject to be corrected, but I would have to say that the Rollin' 40 Bloodstone Parus would definitely have to make this list, considering that half they hood, you know, from around Ascot to Central is shared with another Latino hood called the BM Trece. And I'm not taking anything away from they hood. I'm just saying, you know, if they sharing a hood with another gang, that makes it all the much more hectic out there when everybody's living on top of each other. You know what I'm saying? And while we in the low bottoms, you know, if I'm gonna mention them, I got to mention the Eastside Roller 20 Outlaw Bloods, who territory spread further, you know, but they only got a few streets to themselves, like 27, 29, because they share territory with other hoods like the Primera Flats and another Latino hood called the Barrio Evil. Next, you got the 103 Hard Time Hustler Crips. The last thing I wanted to get clear is the territory of the 103 Hard Time Hustler. So to my knowledge, I thought they went from Century to 104th and from Fig to that street before the freeway. I always forget the name. It's the last street before the freeway up there. With all due respect, you know what I'm saying? I seen somebody say they pushed past Century, and I was almost 100% sure that they started on Century. But y'all let me know. I was willing to bet money. But in any case, the 103 Hard Time Hustler Crips is a small hood with a lot of guts, surrounded by hoods with 10 times their size. And they still there, so let's give them they flowers. Next, I know y'all seen my friendships and fallouts with the 99 Mafias and the 8 Trey Gangsters. The 99 Mafias is probably one of the most hated hoods in South Central. And besides the 107 Overs, probably the most hated in Westmont. They mostly stretch from 96th Street to Century and from Normandy to Vermont. They the only 99 Mafias on the west side. They pretty much reputable, you know what I'm saying, from what I've been hearing, bro. Shouts out to the OG. I'll hit you in a minute, bro. I had a few things to handle, man. Alright, and we gonna end it with the Elm Street Parus. The Elm Street Parus are not really talked about as the other rules on the east side, but we gotta give them they just do. They stretch from Compton Boulevard to Rosecrans and from Long Beach to Mayo Avenue, leaving a total of only 4 or 5 streets that they claim. Remember, they surrounded by Santana, Southside, so they in a pretty dangerous area, man. So we gotta keep it fair, man. Real is real, man. Shouts out to all the small hoods thriving and surviving out there, man. But that's all I got today, man. Keep it locked. I got some gas coming. You ain't gonna want to miss this. Sorry for the few days I missed. I'm about to drop something on you, man. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm out of here. What?